Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Band of Barbers Podcast. I'm your host, Devon Evans, and this evening you are tuned into episode 41. I know I don't always keep track of the numbers, but today's episode 41. Went back quickly. Super excited about it. Either way, today we're going to talk about why your lack of customer service is costing you money. And you just have to accept that being a lot of barbers will say they're just going to be who they are. And while that may be good in some sense, people want to do business with professional people. I don't care how you look at it, especially if you're looking to get top dollar, right? If you're looking to get 40, 50, 100, if you're looking, let's be honest, if you're looking to get any amount of money. Now, if you're maybe a $10 barber, your clients are probably, let's just be honest, going to be $10 clients, and they're going to accept whatever it is that you give them. It's just the truth. They are. They're going to accept it, whatever it is that you give them. They're not going to really be bothered by your lack of customer service and professionalism or things like that. They are truly in it for the deal. And price conscious clients like that, although it's a place, I understand not everybody can afford that, but typically price conscious clients like that come with a lot of baggage, along with a barber in this day and age in 2023 in America. We're not talking about any other country. We're talking about here in the United States of America. In the United States of America, if you are charging $10 for a haircut, we're not talking about any type of school setting or anything like that before you jump into those things. We're talking about professional licensed barbers working in a shop, things like that. If you are charging, $10, the clients that come along with $10, most of them are going to be $10 clients. And if that's the hill that you want to die on, if that's the business that you want to run, do you. But again, my rule. Listen, if that's what you're going to do, then you don't get to complain about it. If that's what you're choosing to do, you do not get to complain about those things. So you can be a $10 barber with $10 clients, and you can be upset because they get in a chair, they give you $10, they get out, they late, they stink. And I'm not talking. I'm when I say stink, they're coming in smelling like they live in a distillery, or they just finished smoking something special in the parking lot. They come get in your chair and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna tell you, those clients too, also, they want the best for less. Where that comes from, I don't know. They want the best for less. So they want a $40, $50 service, but they only willing to pay you $10. And because you charge them $10, that's what you're gonna get, right? And $10 is just an example. It's just a price point, and especially a price point based on where you are, right? That's just the reality of it. It's just a price point of where you are. An average service in, let's say, a popular area of California, let's say Sacramento, for example, an average service is probably around $45, $50 for a haircut, right? It might be $60, $70 for a haircut and a beard trim. So if you're out there and you're charging $20 for a haircut and maybe $30 for a haircut and beard, you're going to get $20 and $30 clients. Not saying that it's not a place for them. I'm going to say that again. I'm just saying that if your price point, your average price point in your area is much higher and you're way lower than them, you're going to bring in a crowd that for most barbers you probably don't want. That's just honest. But we're not gonna spend so much time talking about the client. We beat up on the client a little bit. And listen, the client is in the place that the client is at. But you as the business owner, you as the barber, you have to look and evaluate and figure out why you're charging this. Because typically, right, you're probably you're probably afraid. You're afraid to charge more. You're afraid to do those types of things. Or you want to run a half-cocked business that, you want to say I own a business, but you never at work. You never do this. Hey, you got a lot of the same behaviors as the client, but you want to hold your client to a higher standard than you hold yourself. You can't do that. You cannot do that. The client is not to be held to a higher standard than you hold yourself. So what does that mean? So let's break it down to what that means. And we're going to get into the whole this is our segue into the customer service, but we'll get into my points for this evening, right? What exactly does that mean? That means that the client may be late, right? Client might be 5 minutes late, and you're like, oh, come on, whatever. But you are habitually late. You're always late. It doesn't matter if the appointment is at 9 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you are going to be late. But let the client be late, now you're upset. And you may let the client know that in somewhat of a passive manner, but don't you dare a client to say something to you about being late. You establish the rules in the relationship. You as the business owner, as a service provider, you establish the rules. So if you're habitually late, you are telling your clients that they can be late too. That's what you're telling them. Right? It's exactly what you're telling them. And with that being said, let's get into our first point of the evening. First impressions and lasting connections. Like, you have to understand that the first client interaction sets the tone for the entire service. And I will say it sets the tone for the entire relationship. Right? It sets the tone for the entire relationship. Now, I don't care where you're from, what's going on, or anything like that. You can do very simple things to increase customer satisfaction. For myself, I don't care how old my client is, if they're an adult, I'm going to call them sir. I'm ready for you, sir. What can I do for you today, sir? What are you looking for? Now, that type of respect to another human being is a dying thing nowadays. But you would be surprised how many people respect that. Some people get treated like trash all day long on their jobs, by their family, by their so-called friends, everything like that. Listen, you get to have one of the closest relationships with the client that people have. You, within 2 minutes of meeting or seeing a person, are then putting your hands in their personal space and on their head. Treat them with respect. Simple yes sir, no sir. I promise you it's not gonna kill you. Your brain's not gonna fry. I promise you that you'll be okay. But just treat them with a little bit of respect. Yes sir, no sir. How can I help you? And that's not being subservient in any way. That doesn't make you look weak in any way. It makes you look like you have respect for people. And you are dealing with clients who are coming in and paying you money. Me as a person in general, I talk to someone of any position, anytime I meet a person, I'm typically, I won't even say typically I am going to say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, whatever. And until somebody tells me to stop, that's what I'm going to do. Period. That's what I'm going to do. Till somebody tells me to stop, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And even if they tell me to stop, I'm going to tell them that this is how I was raised, because it was. And this is out of a sign of respect, because it is. And that's just it. And you won't believe the amount of clients that I get, maintain, and keep because of my general respect. My general respect for them, my respect for their time, right? If I'm going to be late, I will let them know, hey, look, I'm sorry. I'm running a little bit behind. Is that okay with you? If not, if there's another barber in the shop and you have somewhere to be, you have something to do, we have some barbers that are taking walk-ins that may be available right now that can get you. I apologize for that. And you know what they typically say? Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll wait. Don't worry about it. I wait. I understand. I know things happen. And so now we haven't started this crazy relationship. And I'll tell you even another way to do that in a first impression situation. In a first impression situation, when you're dealing with something like that, let's say a walk-in walks into the shop and you got two people, and they may look and be like, man, there's two people waiting. I say, look, hey, there's two people waiting. I'm almost done with the client that I have in the chair. This next one is going to get in the chair. Can you give me about an hour? If you can wait an hour, that's fine. If you would like to come back in an hour, please let me know and I will save your spot. But understand, if I'm saving your spot, I'm expecting you to be here. If that's not gonna work, then you can, and I have a QR code on my wall. You can scan my QR code and you can make an appointment for a better time to suit you. Just that simple. What have I shown the client? I've told the client, like, hey, look, I would really like to get you in right now, but I'm a little busy. I can get you in later on if you're willing to wait, or you can make an appointment and you can come back later. I'm telling them, I respect your time, you respect my time. Give me time to do my job, and then I will be able to take care of you. But for right now, this is what I got to do. And it gives them the decision. It gives them some power in the situation. It gives them some power in the situation to accept or reject whatever it is that I may be saying or doing at the time. Okay. So that's that first impression, that lasting impression, the lasting connection. Is like you have to think about all of those types of things. We all have been somewhere and received terrible customer service and never went back, or it was a while before we went back. And you may not be open to say it, but it was typically because of the customer service. May not have been the food. May not have been may not have been anything else. It may not have been the product. It may not have been none of that stuff. But if you're rude, I don't really want to deal with you. And I'm just saying, like, when somebody comes into a shop and you're in there and you sitting there and you like, yo, what up? What up? You trying to get a cut or what? That may be appealing to some people. Some people may deal with that. But if that's the way that you communicate, watch the way that they look at you when you say that. Please, watch the way that they look at you. Right? But, first impressions are important in life and in business. So make your first impressions your best ones. Give those clients and those people who have entrusted in sitting in your chair, give them great customer service. Build a relationship with them in that chair, right? From the time that they walk into the shop to them sitting in your chair, when they pay you for their service or your service, thank them as they walk out the door. And hey, I always say, listen, put a timeline on it. Right? I know for myself, right? I generally, when a client gets in my chair, I can look at their hair and see how long it has been since they got a haircut and how their haircut is growing. Right? If their hair is extremely overgrown and it takes me a while to reframe and rebuild their hair, you know what I say? Hey, we'll see you again soon. Soon is establishing, for me, I'm saying soon because I want you to come back sooner than however long you let that grow. That's just me. If I got a client, I'm looking at their hair and I'm like, oh man, you see me get a haircut pretty often, or something like that. If they're a new client, hey, I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks. I'm putting into their mind, we know a couple typically means 2, right? If I know the client may have a little more outgrown of a haircut based on the conversation that we may have while they're in the chair, also, I'll say, hey, I'll see you again in a few weeks. Now, for me, I'm saying a few weeks because a few weeks is meaning 3 to 4 weeks. They look like a every month haircut type of guy. And I may do another episode on that to kind of touch on kind of some of the things that I say behind the chair and why, and the reason that I say those things. I'll give you one more. One of the other important things that I say when I get done with a service and they're like, hey, how much is it? Instead of just noting the price, I always say it's just. It's just $20. It's just $30. It's just whatever. Why? Because I want you to feel like the experience that you had in the chair with me was so great. Because I typically try to give you a great service, great interaction, great conversation. You enjoy yourself in the shop environment, everything like that. And I typically will say all of that, but I say it's just because you need to understand that what you have experienced, what you have been privy to, as far as being in the shop, sitting in my chair, the service that I provided, that just for X amount of dollars, you get to experience this. It's a little psychological there. We'll talk about that on another episode. I think we'll do that. But the number two important thing I'll say is we'll talk about the client retention magic. Sorry. Listen, customer service is like key. Beyond skill set, beyond all of that, like skill set, price, it is customer service. Okay? And the customer service goes from, in my opinion, hey, if they start out as a walk-in client, they need to be treated as still a top priority, because they are. They're coming in to give you money. They're a top priority. Your whole business's job is to make money. That's why you're standing behind the chair. You're standing behind the chair to make money. And I'm not saying look at the walk-in as a dollar sign. Be thankful that a client chose to come and sit in your chair. Because the moment that you get cocky and say, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm thankful for everybody that sat in my chair. For the people that sat in my chair once and never returned, for the people that returned all the time, I am thankful for them all. For the people that didn't grow with me and for the people that did grow with me, I'm thankful. And every time that they come back and sit in my chair, I'm grateful. Do you hear me? I'm grateful every single time. And you need to have that attitude, because, listen, when I grew up, where I am from, when I grew up, there were two barbers that serviced curly, kinky, wavy hair in the entire county. Now we have 6 in one shop. We have 6 in one shop. We have 3 in another shop. And there's probably 20 of us, maybe or so, 20 or 30 in the county. In the county itself. All right, you just got to understand and be thankful for the clients that do sit in your chair, right? And so from the walk-in perspective, or from, let's say they call you on the phone. Hey, I'd like to make an appointment. Okay, if you talk to them on the phone, that's fine. If they text you, hey, you shoot them your booking link. You make it easy for them to book. Things like that. Everything right now is about speed. In this, the world is trying to move faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So streamlining the process of how to book an appointment with you, allowing clients to book an appointment with you, right? Allowing those clients to book an appointment with you is another thing that's cool for customer service and things like that, of that nature, right? And then once they're there, man, give them the treatment. Listen. Give them the best quality work that you can give them, without a doubt. All right, and best quality work, best conversation, so on and so forth. You have no idea how important that is and how that word of mouth will spread among the people, among the community. It will. It'll just spread. All right, and it's super important. And so that's number 2. So let's talk about number 3. My third point for the day is turning challenges into opportunities. Listen, man, we are human beings. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have problems. Like, things are going to happen. You're going to have a customer who's not happy with how something in your business. They're going to be upset with something in your business. Now, while your business may not be for everybody, and I understand that, okay? If a customer is sat in your chair, if a customer is dealing with you and they are not satisfied, there are respectful ways to deal with it. I've had clients who I've cut their hair and it didn't come out that well. They said it was fine. They get home, they decided it wasn't fine. I'm upset. They're upset. Now, I could blame the client. I could blame the client's hair. I could blame the client's head. I could do all of those sort of things. But I'm not. You know the first thing I say? I apologize. If you would like to, please come in and allow me to fix my mistake. I am sorry for the inconvenience that I have provided. Please, if you could, let me come in. Please, if you could come in, let me fix the mistake. No charge to you. I just want to ensure that business is done right and that the customer is satisfied. I'm not going to beat you up because you said something wrong about a service that I provided. I'm always growing. Behind this chair, I am always growing. I am always trying to learn something new. I am always trying to learn better ways to do things. I'm trying to do all of this. You think I'm going to be upset because you didn't like, I'm going to treat you bad because you didn't like a service that I provided? No, I'm sorry. I am absolutely sorry that this has happened and that we did this. That I did this. Please give me a chance to right my wrongs. Please give me an opportunity to fix and repair what I've done. No, it's not your fault, customer. Again, it goes back to the appreciation for the client even sitting in your chair in the first place. I really appreciate you for giving me a shot, giving me a try. It didn't work out the way that we wanted to, and I am so sorry that it didn't. But I do appreciate it. I also appreciate the constructive criticism. You as a customer have the right to be satisfied with your service. It's important. It's really important. But, you need to look at ways like I said, with these challenges and opportunities, you need to look at ways to deal with customers, to communicate with customers, things of that nature. You need to look at a way to do that. Just telling you, listen, learn to communicate with your clients. Understand that you don't know everything. Understand that you may not be the best at everything, but understand how to communicate with your clients. If you've done something or something is going on and your client does not approve and or like it, they have a right to say whatever they say to you in a respectful tone. And even if they get disrespectful, you need to maintain a level of professionalism. Did you become a barber to still be in the streets? Did you become a barber to get behind the chair and then buck up on customers when they rude and disrespectful to you? I didn't. There's a time and a place for everything. That's what the old folks say, right? And the better I learn to communicate, the better I learn to deal with myself and grow and things like that. The more I learn about those things, the less that I feel that there's a place to show you how bad I am or how tough I am. I don't care about that. I care about feeding my family, keeping a roof over my head, gas in my car, and I care about my life. Not proving no point to nobody. And if you're in this game to prove a point to somebody, to show somebody, you need to do a little work on you. Okay? I tell you what I say, and then I've said it before. A client has a right to hire and fire whoever they choose, the same way that a barber has a right to hire and fire whoever they choose. Take control. Believe that you have that right, because you do. You do. And to tell a client that, hey, listen, I'll no longer be able to provide services to you because I don't feel like I'm the person who can serve you properly. That's something that you can say. Or you can say something along the lines of, this client-barber relationship is no longer working out. You are not respecting my rules that I have set in place. That, but that's all about having clear expectations set out in the first place. If you don't have clear expectations, then the client is choosing to do whatever they want. So they feel like, or they think that the client is always right. I will never say that the client is always right. Never say that. I will say the client always deserves respect, even if they choose not to respect you. There are ways to say things and ways to get things across to people without being rude and or disrespectful, no matter how disrespectful they may be. Okay? So look, man, first impression is important. That client retention is all about, that keeping that client retention is all about you. Streamlining the process of booking appointments, streamlining the process of how you deal with walk-ins, and all of these things. That client retention, that magic is on you. And also make sure that you turn turn those challenges into opportunities. You can be calm and still be respected. You don't have to match the energy of a disrespectful person. You understand? You don't. You do not have to match the energy of a disrespectful person. Okay? And that's just it. So again, man, look, don't let that customer service stuff cost you money trying to hold on to a person that you tried to leave behind. Leave that old person behind. That customer service, that lack of customer service is costing you money. You think it's other things, but it's really your customer service. Let's just be honest. It's your customer service. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? And I will say this. Your customer service goes beyond just what happens in the barbershop. If you are a barber, you are you are a community person, right? You are looked highly upon in the community. If the only place that you're professional is in the barbershop and not in the community, you're going to damage your business as well. Customer service is important. And I don't know if you heard this, but a lot of old folks said this to me growing up. Here's the key. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's it. If you in a situation and you think about it like, oh man, I got like for example, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close. Treat people how you want to be treated, and this is what I mean by that. Everybody probably on this, listening to this has been to the doctor at least once in their lifetime. They've been to the doctor a few times, right? You go into the ER, whatever. You've been to the doctor. You take off work, schedule an appointment. The appointment's supposed to be at 3:00. You get there at 2:50, a little early. You get there in hopes to see the doctor, be done. Da 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 da. You get to there. Somebody who's not the doctor brings you back. They do all their little preliminary stuff. Then they sit you in a room. It's 3:00. And you're sitting there, and then 3:15 comes. And then 3:30 comes. And then 3:45 comes. And then 4:00 comes. And then 4:15. And then here comes the doctor. Now, the doctor didn't communicate with you that he was going to be running behind, and you're upset. Or even if he did say he was running behind, you're still upset because your appointment was at 3. I made an appointment 3 weeks ago, and why couldn't you be on time, and da 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 da, and so on and so forth. This is what you may say to other people. But Mr. Jim made an appointment for a haircut 2 weeks ago at 2:00. Mr. Jim gets there at 1:45 because he's 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior. He's always early, right? He gets there at 1:45. He sits there, waits till 2:00, and you cutting this client's hair, and you don't get Mr. Jim in the chair until 2:30. Mr. Jim getting in the chair at 2:30, he'd let you cut his hair because he made an appointment, but Mr. Jim never comes back. And you saying, Dag, I haven't seen Mr. Jim. I really wonder what's going on. Why is Mr. Jim not coming back? Well, unlike a doctor, it's easy to change barbers. And if I don't have a barber that's going to respect my time, especially if the barber is saying I got to make an appointment to get with him or her, yeah, you got to make an appointment to get with me. I don't just take no anybody. You don't just take anybody, huh? So I made an appointment, and I see why you don't, and Mr. Jim said, I see why you don't just take anybody. Because don't just anybody deal with that type of nonsense and disrespect that you got going on. Man's appointment started at 2 o'clock. You get him in the chair at 2:30? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's customer service too, guys. Just so you understand. That's part of customer service too. All right? Don't let your customer service cost you money. Please don't let your customer service cost you money. Fix it. Fix it now. Okay? Fix it now so your brand can grow. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Band of Barbers Podcast. Today was episode 41. Great episode. Super excited. Excited for you guys to hear what this it's excited for you guys that you guys got to hear this episode. So I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Please like, comment, share, subscribe so we can grow the tribe. It's going to be this is a great show. We're only getting better. We're only growing. We're growing our audience, and we appreciate you guys who are early partakers in that of the Band of Barbers podcast. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.